Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale with a special double upload for you guys today. I want to talk about the #1 player in China. That's right, it's Lciop. He's back on the channel, guys. This guy, if you don't know him, he's going to be a player that you're going to want to emulate. You're going to want to see what decks he's playing because he's definitely the best player in CRL China. He has the highest win rate. Not only does he have the highest win rate, but he often faced the opponent's best players, such as Quiet, Wins, Little Chen, as you can see we're starting with here, and YZZY. So you also may remember him from finishing first on ladder in January 2018 in the first season of the year. So this guy is an absolute beast. A 67 win percentage in CRL China is absolutely incredible. Again, one, facing the best players on the other teams, and two, just having that big of a win percentage in general against the caliber of players that they had is absolutely incredible. Now, I do want to flash on the screen really quickly the playoff schedule. I believe it starts on June 2nd and into the 3rd for CRL China if you guys want to tune in, if you can find a live feed out there. But anyway, I want to focus on the decks and the gameplay of Lciop, and I'm including some highlights here throughout all of the weeks, all the 9 weeks that I have access to in CRL China. We're going to start out pretty early. I think this was week 5 where he faced Little Chen here. Little Chen, of course, one of the best, most well-known players in China as well. As a matter of fact, he would have been in the CCGS qualifiers last year in London, but he had a visa issue, couldn't get there, but he was one of the top 2 players in China at that time. Now, Lciop is going to absolutely make quick work of him, and look at his face, by the way, guys. Just check out Lciop and also watch his facial expressions when he wins these matches. He is a stone cold assassin, ladies and gentlemen. He has no emotion ever after a loss, after a win. He just looks at his opponent like he's gonna absolutely murder them. He just has this stare that is just like, oh man, I would not want to go up against Lciop. I can tell you that right now. So anyway, back to the actual gameplay here. You can see he's actually playing, it looks like the PEKKA control deck that was actually in the meta really popular. Remember, this deck dominated grand challenges and tournament level standard about a couple months ago, but he still plays it, and you're gonna see Lciop play and win with a different deck every single replay, and that's one of the strengths of Lciop as a player. He is not only one of the best players in the world, but he's also one of the most versatile players in the world, meaning that he can pick up any deck and have immediate success with it. I actually reached out to AY, the owner of Nova Esports. Congratulations, by the way, to Nova finishing first in CRL China going into the playoffs. And AY said, AY, is there any weakness in Lciop's game at all? Is there any weakness? Like, what can the opponents exploit? Of course, he's not going to give all the goods, but he said there's only, and I believe him, he said there's only one small area of improvement for Lciop, and that is he's such a great control player by nature. That's his favorite archetype, as you can see here, that oftentimes he tends to not be aggressive when he could be super aggressive in some circumstances. So sometimes he plays a little bit too passively, but you can see in these matches that that's really kind of try to search for a criticism on this amazing player. So here we go. It's going to be a graveyard coming in. He's going to split those zappies, which he does a lot against graveyard decks. He always splits the zappies right in the center of his side of the arena. Here comes a miner going in on his side. He loves having that one zappy going towards the tower that his opponent, that he's going for. So when he plays defense, even though he could often be better served using the zappies as kind of a poison bait, putting them all together in one lane, he always splits. Again, he's doing it right here. He splits and then a Royal Ghost. He's forcing the opponent to have to answer that opposite lane as well, and then leaning on his poison. Of course, PEKKA was his last card in that deck, if any of you guys want to go ahead and try it out at home. So here we go. This time, Little Chen again on the bottom, Lciop on the top. This time, Lciop's going to be playing bait. He's going to be playing the Dark Prince Goblin Barrel bait deck, and it's a really strong deck. This deck, as a matter of fact, even though this replay again was from, I think, 4 weeks ago, a month ago now, This deck that Lciop is playing is absolutely amazing in the meta, so give it a try. I actually think this deck at tournament level standard is probably even a little bit better than the Prince deck. So here we go. It's going to be a Princess at the bridge for Lciop and responding with a Mega Minion on Little Chen's end. And the Mega Minion's going to get a little bit more value there. Take that Dark Prince's shield right off, but Dark Prince does get a charge on that left tower, and he responds with an Inferno Dragon. Check out this matchup. Little Chen is playing Lava Loon, guys. Lava Loon is definitely not an easy matchup against Bait. As a matter of fact, it's definitely a counter, a hard counter, because look at Lciop's deck. It's not a hard counter, but we don't have the answers, I should say. And look at this beautiful King Tower activation. He didn't save his NATO for the balloon. Instead, he went ahead and used the NATO to activate that King Tower. He knew he was going to take at least one hit with that balloon. No matter what he did, he'd rather walk away with the activated King Tower, and those are the little plays that make Lciop an amazing, amazing player. So here we go again, striking with that Goblin Barrel while he could get a little bit extra value from that Spirit Goblin. Again, the little things is what Lciop does so well. Technically, he is an amazing player. He does take risks, and they don't always pay off, but more often than not, they do. So here we go. The opponent here responds, Little Chen responds with a Tombstone over there. Talking about risks there, a predictive log didn't really help anything except for to cycle. Never kind of forget about cycling and how pros are always thinking 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. So Lciop wants to get his Princess back. At this point in the match, I think he makes a decision to sacrifice his left tower. So let's see what he does here. He goes in, always sending in those Goblin Barrels. He sends in the Dark Prince, sends in the Goblin Gang. He's putting the pressure on, knowing that Little Chen only really has Tombstoning guards in his deck as far as answers go. He does sacrifice his left tower. Left tower goes down. He cycles to another Princess behind the King Tower there. Sends in a Goblin Barrel because he wants to keep his log for the guards. He uses the log on the guards, uses the Goblin Barrel to take down that left tower. Beautiful decision making here. Just barely stops that Inferno Dragon with the Dark Prince, and then immediately places the Goblin Gang to defend against that Inferno Dragon. And then all of a sudden, things went from looking not so great to looking really good here for Lciop, even though he still has to defend against another Lava Loon push. And here it comes. Loon going towards the King Tower. The opponent, Little Chen, does not want to group everything together, knowing that he has Tornado. He actually uses the Tornado at the very last second there. Beautiful NATO value. He's able to get that balloon before it reaches the right tower. And now we are sitting pretty, ladies and gentlemen. The opponent, Little Chen, goes ahead and places down that preemptive Tombstone again. Now we know he only has guards as a ground counter in hand because he just used the Tombstone. So what do? Well, all we need is the rocket at this point, and you can see Lciop again. Just a little breath, takes the headphones off. All right, I got it. No big deal. Another 2-0. Lciop. No big deal. So here we go. Let's go ahead and move on in the competition to week 6, I believe. We're going to face Hai, who's another really, really good player. He is, I want to say, the second highest win rate. And again, just it proves the point here that Lciop is facing the best players on the other team and coming away with victories way more often than not. So we're going in with a Hog Lumberjack deck. For those of you Lumberjack lovers, I love Lumberjack. He's a pretty cool card. You're going to not see anybody out there play this deck better than Lciop does. You're going to see how he takes advantage of the Lumberjack's rage at any given possible situation where it's not too risky. He doesn't want to overcommit on that rage, but oftentimes after the dead Lumberjack, he's going to go ahead and send in that Hog right away, even if it's not an ideal situation. So here we go. The Hog's actually going to take down that right tower. Beautiful zap, resetting the opponent's Inferno Dragon till his Inferno Dragon could catch up. And when you take down a tower with 1 minute into the match, you know you're looking good if you're Lciop, guys. So now all we really have to do is defend. It looks like, is this a Lava Hound deck or is it a Balloon Cycle deck? I think it's the Pompeo Balloon Cycle deck. I don't think, or maybe there is a Lava Hound. I think it is a Lava Hound. I don't know. We'll see, but this has Minor. Look at me speaking. I should have watched the replays ahead of time. I actually did. I forgot this one, though. All right, so here we go. It's a Ice Golem in the pocket, come down with a Hog in the left lane, trying to stay aggressive here again. Not even sure if the opponent at this point is playing a Lava Hound deck or if it's a Balloon Cycle deck. It looks more, because of the Inferno Dragon, like a Balloon Cycle deck, so we'll see. At this point, though, Lciop is sitting pretty. He does have like a 1 or 2 elixir deficit right now, but he's not panicking. You can see, obviously, his face is just like, yeah, what up? I got this, no big deal, no big deal, no big deal. So let's see what he does here. The opponent does have, again, a 2 elixir advantage. He goes ahead and he drops the Inferno Dragon, so if he was playing Lava Hound, he certainly would have played it there. there. So we know it's just going to be a balloon miner cycle deck. I wasn't sure if the Pompeo version did have the Inferno Dragon in it. Obviously it does. So here comes a poison here defensively for Lciop. Again, all we really have for an air counters in Lciop's deck here is the Inferno Dragon and of course the poison and ice spirit just helping out where we can. However, we're getting the opponent to split their damage. You can see the left tower down to, well, 490, the right tower down to 1192. Meanwhile, we take the left tower down. Lciop is on a tear here. Inferno Dragon gonna bleed through that king tower. It's gonna be a 3 crown for Lciop. And look at that. Again, just take the headphones off. He's cool, whatever, you got it. All right, let's go to an Xbow match. I know there's a lot of Xbow lovers out there, and I know I need to upload an Xbow video soon. Look forward to one of those this coming week, guys. Meanwhile, Lciop's gonna go ahead and cycle skeletons. He does like the opponent to make the first play, but of course, a 1 elixir skeletons is not a big investment, and it keeps the deck cycling. We already know, because I told you, he's playing 2.9 Xbow cycle, which is an incredibly strong deck still in the meta. It still boasts a very high win rate despite kind of lackluster usage rates. So here we go. It's going to be, we're trying to feel out what the opponent here is playing. Too early to tell. It looks like it might be a graveyard deck. Not 100% sure. So you can see he's passively, you know, defensive or offensive fireballs here, just trying to get some value. He pre-places that Tesla, getting some Tesla value, and then he sees it. It's the Hog Rider, so he knows what he's facing. It's a Hog cycle deck with the Ice Wizard and the Tombstone. He must know in his head that it's the NATO Hog cycle deck. At least that's what I think it is. So here comes the first offensive Xbow here, and you can see he's just going to do a good job kind of patiently cycling, protecting that Xbow. Of course, the opponent does use their fireball, so we're not able to get a lock or any damage, but at this point, when we see the fireball, we pretty much know all the cards from the opponent's deck and how to play this match going into the rest and going into what certainly will be overtime. These are really long matches, especially when you're an Xbow player against another kind of faster cycle deck. So here we go. It's going to go a skeleton split again behind the king tower. We have an Ice Spirit played at the river here by Lciop. Again, just trying to cycle as quickly as possible. And there's the Tombstone defensively again for Siosa, I guess is how you pronounce his name. So another fireball here. Again, you're already seeing 2 fireballs connect on that right tower, maybe 3 if I lost count. So trying to get as much fireball value as possible. We know this match might come down to a spell cycle situation. So trying to strike early when we can get any value at all. We do get our big lock on that Xbow, and I want to say this might be the only lock of the game. Despite the low health on that Xbow, he's still able to get a decent amount of damage off that right tower, and he cycles immediately to another Xbow there. This is beautiful because now there's 2 Teslas on the board. The fireball goes to the Xbow, but it's not a big deal. Fireball is now out of cycle, and I think we've cycled all the way to another Xbow, albeit without the elixir to actually play it. So here we go again, kind of resetting here. At this point in the match with 20 seconds left, we already have a Tesla down. Want to try to get some value out of that, so I wouldn't be surprised, okay, there it is, if he starts fireball cycling right away. Again, the reason he did that there is, look at this. We want to get value out of that Tesla. We know that once we play that, once we use that fireball, he's going to want to come at us with the Hog, so we can kind of predict what the next plays are going to be, and that's something that Lciop is obviously very adept and skilled at doing. So here we go. It's another fireball. It's going to be fireball cycle all day, every day here for Lciop using this deck in this matchup. So again, a defensive Tesla here. We weren't able to get that Ice Spear on the Hog, so he's definitely going to get a hit despite using everything that we have in our arsenal. A log, archers, and skeletons all on that Hog. We're going to chip away at that Mega Minion, and now again, we're looking pretty good here. We're going to keep the pressure on with the Xbow again, knowing that it probably won't get a lot of value, but what it did was it baited out not only a Hog Rider from the opponent, but also a Mega Minion. That's a lot of elixir, and we know he can't punish us in the left lane, so we're free to use another fireball. So at this point in the match, all we need is 2 fireballs in a log on that right tower, and victory is ours, or at least victory is the MVP, Lciop's. So here it comes. It's going to be an Ice Golem, it's going to be a Hog, it's going to be an Ice Wizard. We know everything is coming down at us because we can almost feel the desperation at this point, and we're able to evade all Hog hits again on that left tower and set up with another Tesla here defensively, and again, that's going to free us up to play an offensive fireball because we know he can't punish immediately with another Hog. Sending landing in that Ice Spirit really to cycle at this point. We just know we need a log and a fireball, and the game is pretty much ours here. Actually, we need two logs and a fireball. So there's log number 1, and now we need one more log and one more fireball. We just need to defend this big push here. So preemptively dropping down that Tesla, and again trying to cycle, and we're able to cycle fast enough there with the skeletons and the Ice Spirit, log, fireball, GG, boom! Lciop wins again. So guys, I hope you enjoyed these Lciop highlights. Huge fan of this guy. He's absolutely a brilliant player, and I really like his demeanor and stuff too, if I didn't mention that in the video. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this CRL China recap. Be sure to stay tuned for some highlight footage of the playoffs. I know there's going to be a lot of great matches there as well. So hats off to Lciop and Nova for finishing first and getting the MVP. Guys, huge shout out to my YouTube sponsor, Bren Chong, whose team, Bren Esports, is actually playing right now in Asia. They're top 3 at the time of this recording as well. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.